In this video, we're going to cover the Performance tab. So the Performance tab is very useful to start drilling down into looking where you're making money or where you're losing money, depending on which sport you're looking at, which tips you're looking at, and what bet types you're looking at. Now, first of all, you've got a very bold turnover, profit, and return on investment at the top. And if I go from left to right, we've got here we've got a filter. Now these are all filters, and where they come from is if you look at this list of bookmakers, it'd be exactly the same list as you've got set up in your settings, and exactly the same as the drop down that appears in your bets record sheet. So the settings, as I said in the settings video, does affect your performance sheet as well. So once you've got everything set up how you want it, that's what will appear in these filters. First of all, we've got a filter by month. So you can look at your overall performance by month. Now you'll see here, once you select something in the filter, you've got this little red cross at the top, and there's a little dialog box comes up, says, clear filter. If you click that red cross, it'll go back to the default of everything selected. So these filters here all work the same way. So you just click on the filter you want, or remove it with the red cross. Below here you've got a very broad overview of all the bets you've had. So you've had 20 losers, 9 places and 15 winners out of 44 bets. You've got over here below that your bet types. So again, it's a very broad overview of how your performance is going. So each one of these filters, as I say, if I click on Bet365, you can see all the bets you've had with Bet365, the turnover, the profit, and the ROI, what source that came from, what sport it was, the course, the venue, and the bet type. You can then select, so you've got Bet365 selected, you can select by month, so you can see how you're doing with each particular bookmaker by month. If you look at, say, I know Paddy Power in here is showing a loss, so you might want to start using Paddy Power for a while, but it just gives you a very, very detailed overview of how you're doing with each bookmaker in this case, and each sport and bet source. If we go back to all the filters unselected, and let's look at, say, FUT Tips 2. So we can see that FUT Tips 2 is losing us £100 in the month of May. If I unclick the month, we're actually losing £169.18 overall with FUT Tips 2. So one way of drilling down again is, well, okay, FUT Tips 2 are losing us money, but is there any particular pattern about that? So let's have a look at their, we've had 3 different bet types with them. So let's have a look at their over 2.5 goals, losing money. Under 2.5 goals, they're actually making money on that particular bet type, but it's their win bets that are losing the most amount of money. So that's one way of drilling down and looking at a bet type from a particular sport for a particular tipster. If we then uncheck these filters and we look at, say, horse racing, we can see we're doing quite well on horse racing. We look at the, to untick that, we'll look at the sport in the first. So horse racing as a sport, we're doing quite healthily on horse racing. You can see that 2 of the tipsters are making money, and one of them's in loss. And again, you can drill down to which particular tipster. So let's look at horse tipster 1. Making a decent profit. Where's he making his profit? Well, let's have a look at the bet type. Looks like most of it is coming from each way bets. Yeah. So yeah, you can drill down into that. So you can basically filter and narrow down whatever you want with the performance sheet, and it will give you a very, very good indication of where you're making money, where you're losing money, what bet types you're making money on, which bookmakers you've got profits in and losses in, etc., and which tipsters are making your money. So it's quite a good way of drilling down to see what your performance really is. It's okay saying, well, that's our overall performance, but where are we losing money and where are we making money? And that can make a huge difference to your profit and loss. It might make you decide, well, hang on, I'm going to drop football tips too. But in that respect, if you look at football tips too, well, they've only had 1, 2, 3, 4 bets, and 2 of them were win bets to quite big stakes. So that's where you're losing your money. So as an overall filtering system on your performance, you can set this up in any way you want, and you can drill down to look at any metric you want.